What up, gamers? It is Will777JP. That is Will777JP. And y'all, I am here watching my weekly Skill Up news video. He comes out with these videos every week. It's basically a rundown of the weekly news and video games. I really love this. I always tune in. It always drops on Wednesdays, sometimes Thursdays when he's busy, right? Because Skill Up is a busy guy. He's out there traveling, checking games out, doing all sorts of stuff. So sometimes he drops it on a Thursday, but that's okay. But yeah, I look forward to it, man. It's the only what do you call it, show that I watch consistently on YouTube every single week. Now, I don't always agree with Skill Up, but I enjoy watching this stuff or this show, and I think he's just a funny dude sometimes, and he really gives some valuable information. But what I want to go over is the Game of the Year nomination. So I got this clip video right here that I want to go over with you guys. I will be pausing to interject my opinions and talk about what he's saying a little bit, so bear with me. So let's hit play. This is literally 16 seconds in the video, and then I'm also going to go over the comment I just posted. So let's start.
Well, this year's Game Awards nominations have caused quite a stir, haven't they? That's right, it's time for our annual dose of celebrity appearances, vape commercials, game trailers, and I'm missing something. Oh, that's right, awards. Just be sure to keep those speeches nice and snappy though, okay? Just because your game won debut indie of the year doesn't mean you have the right to steal the spotlight from what really matters at the Game Awards. Amazon discount deals and low interest rate Visa cards. I kid, sort of, last year's show with...
He's 100% correct about that. I said this on Thrifty's podcast last night. I've said it on my channel, on the live stream with RPG. I like the Video Game Awards. I like everything about it. I like the commercials. I like the announcements. I like the trailers. I like all of it. The number one thing that I like most about the Video Game Awards is the awards themselves. I love it when an underdog studio is competing with some big studios and publishers, and then they win the award. And just the excitement, man. I know you guys work for a living, and it's so nice to get recognized for your work, right? Sometimes you're busting your butt on a specific project, or just every single day, just your everyday, work that you do, and then you get recognized for it. That's awesome. And I like to give people their moment to shine. I like to, tell me what it is. And I think every job should do this. Every company should do this. No matter if you're a truck driver, a janitor, a sales associate, it doesn't matter, a teacher. I think we should all have, I should probably mute that. I think we should all have a freaking award show for every job. Let's continue.
A real low point, I think. The honest truth is that despite the many shortcomings of the Game Awards, it's still something that I care about because I love the idea of celebrating the best this industry has to offer. It's great to see developers be recognized for their incredible...
Specifically, video game people, right? Like, this is our passion. This is our hobby, guys, right? So to hear from the director of game, or the art, assistant, or whatever it is, whoever was involved, to hear from them, to me, that's even better than listening to whatever famous actor win an award for their role in a movie, or your favorite musician, getting a Grammy for their song and how they made it. Even though I enjoy that stuff, the Video Game Awards, I see these guys more of a superstar than any of these other genres, just because of the amount of work that it takes, the time it takes, the skill. In video games, you have to take a lot and put it together, right? You have to be creative, you have to be consistent, you have to work hard, you have to listen to feedback, you need technology, you need computer people, you need art people, you need graphic design. I mean, you need so many different elements to put this one piece of art together. It's insane, right? You need music people, you need voice acting. I don't know of any other industry that needs so much of so many to make one thing pop out, right? So to me, these guys are like Michael Jordan. They're like the Denzel Washingtons. They're the Brad Pitts, Angelina Jolies. They're that to what those people are to other people. That's what video game people are to me. Let's continue.
Work, and so I've never subscribed to the idea that the Game Awards are meaningless or don't matter. I mean, they don't in a literal sense, but seeing a developer get up there and give their acceptance speech, it's just nice. Seeing them quickly waved off stage by a please wrap it up teleprompter message, less nice. And look, full disclosure, I'm actually...
That pissed me off. That pissed me off as well. Dude, these people got what, I think it was 45 seconds or a minute. Like, come on, just me talking on a video takes me a few minutes. I'm not saying let's give them unlimited time. Let's not give them 10 freaking minutes. But we can afford to give them 5 minutes. Specifically when you only have 15, 20 categories or so. Like 5 minutes per person, and not everybody's going to take those 5 minutes. Let's do that. But the award show much rather spent that time promoting something, advertising something, make some revenue money, than to actually give the people who were all there for the time. Let me go back for 10 seconds. Let's go.
Meaningless or don't matter. I mean, they don't in a literal sense. Seeing a developer get up there and give their acceptance speech, it's just nice. Seeing them quickly waved off stage by a please wrap it up teleprompter message, less nice. And look, full disclosure, I'm actually part of the over 100 strong judging panel that votes on the nominees and winners. But to be honest, I just write...
I wanted to pause there so you guys can understand what he just said. He is part of the over 100 people that vote on which games get nominated. Let's rewind that so you can hear one more time. Skill Up is part of over 100.
Outer Wild, the message, less nice. And look, full disclosure, I'm actually part of the over 100 strong judging panel that votes on the nominees and...
Judging panel, that's what it's called. So he's part of the over 100 judging panel.
Winners, but to be honest, I just write Outer Wilds into every slot of every category every year, so you can't blame me that Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree got a Game of the Year nomination, and that's...
Okay, so that's, and look, shout out to Skill Up, right? I agree with him. Outer Wilds is a phenomenal game, and I don't blame him for trying to write it in every single year, right? But he's right there giving us a little bit more additional information. One is that these nominations may not necessarily be looked at like how maybe we would. You know, we may look at things overall. You know, how is the game? Is the game good? Is it fun? You know, how many copies did it sell? What was the reaction to the gamers? What piece of hardware can you play this game at? Is it an exclusive? Can you only play it on PC? You know, what's the art style? Like, I think us gamers will be way more critical of games than the people who are supposed to be critical of these damn games. Remember, these are supposed to be the professionals. But also, I understand that you have to include the human element in there, and we are all biased, right? I love mashed potatoes. Some people hate mashed potatoes, so I'm not going to expect mashed potatoes to win every single category in the food category, right? Let's continue. Let's go back a little bit.
Votes on the nominees and winners, but to be honest, I just write Outer Wilds into every slot of every category every year, so you can't blame me.
And thank you for being honest, Caleb. I appreciate that, and giving us a little bit of a breakdown.
That Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree got a Game of the Year nomination. And that's the rub this year. The process has, for the most part, been less acrimonious than in previous years, except when it comes to the nominees for the coveted Game of the Year award. Some of the nominees are sailing through with little objection, like Astrobot, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor ReFantazio, all absolutely phenomenal games that no one could reasonably argue don't at least deserve a look in. Black Myth Wukong also made the list, and that felt like a bit of an underdog despite its absolutely absurd sales. The critical reception to that one was a little more muted than how fans reacted to it.
So I agree with Skill Up there. I agree. I was actually surprised that Wukong made the nomination list. Not because it doesn't deserve to be there, because it absolutely does. And mind you, I don't like difficult games, but I can tell that a game is good. Even Elden Ring. Elden Ring deserved Game of the Year. Would I have preferred that Horizon won? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I understand that Elden Ring won because it deserved to be. But the Game of the Year nomination list is a subjective list, right? Everybody's going to have a different Game of the Year. That's not the discussion. Yes, every year we argue about what game should have made it, what game should have not. But this year, that's not it at all. Let's continue.
So there was a question mark as to whether or not it would make the cut, but it did. A bit of an underdog despite its absolutely absurd sales. The critical reception to that one was a little more muted than how fans reacted to it. So there was a...
And also, this happened last year too with Hogwarts Legacy, right? Hogwarts Legacy has sold, I think it was 20 million copies by the time the Game of the Year awards came around. And not one category it was nominated, all because of the hate mob with J.K. Rowling. Like, fuck off, dude. Like, grow up. Anyways, let's continue.
question mark as to whether or not it would make the cut, but it did, and plenty of people are very happy about that. Roguelike Balatro is the only indie on there this year, and you can tell the people who haven't played Balatro because they're the ones on Twitter being like, what the fuck, how did this shitty card game get nominated over this other game that I like? Shut the fuck up, man, just shut up for real. Do you have
I agree with Skillup. Shut the fuck up for real. Balatro deserves to be there as much as any other fucking independent full game. Absolutely. I've never played Balatro. I don't feel like playing solitaire. But that's not the fucking point. Once again, the games that we like are subjective. But what Balatro has is that it's a game. You buy it, you play it. It's a game. Doesn't matter if it's a phone game, doesn't matter if it's solitaire. It doesn't matter. It's its own individual thing. It is not an add-on. It is not something that's part of a whole other game. None of that crap. I agree. Fuck off. Balatro deserves to be there just as much as any other game, including your $2 shovelware. If they like that game to be there, it is way more deserving than a fucking DLC.
any idea how good Balatro is? Do you have any idea how much collective human productivity has been lost to this video game? No, Balatro deserves its spot, and I pity the maidenless fools who think otherwise. Speaking of...
Now, I've heard the same thing from a lot of people who have played Balatro. Now I'm actually interested in it. So this Black Friday, I'm going to keep my eye out on sales. And if I see it out there for a nice price, I will be trying it out just to see. The game got nominated for Game of the Year, right? So that means there's something in there. Just keep it moving.
Maidenless, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree got a Game of the Year nomination, leading many people to be like, And like, look, fair enough, this is, after all, a DLC, not a standalone game. You need to own Elden Ring in order to play it, and you also need to be pretty far.
So not only do you need the game, right, Elden Ring, who won Game of the Year in 2022, he's about to say you have to be pretty damn far in order to access it. So you literally cannot go out and buy Shadow of the Erd Tree and start playing it right away. You cannot do that. You have to have certain requirements in order to play it. So you're basically locked out of the game unless you earn it. Now you can kind of give the same arguments in a way with any other game. Well, you got to buy it. You got to earn the money. Be real here. Let's continue.
Into Elden Ring in order to access it. Elden Ring is, of course, one of the greatest games ever made and the 2022 Game of the Year winner. Is it fair, then, that an expansion to that game be given a Game of the Year nomination, given that the base game has already won that prize? The flip side is that Shadow of the Erd Tree is not just any other DLC. It's like 50 to 80 hours long, which is roughly twice the size of Sekiro, which won Game of the Year back in 2018.
That's a silly argument. That is a silly argument because we can take your argument skill up and apply that to Balatro. It's literally solitaire. So, does it still check out then? Right? But you know what we can do with Elden Ring DLC is we cannot just go out and buy it and play it right away. We have to play Elden Ring first. It kind of feels like it's gatekeeping in a way. I don't know if gatekeep is the right word, but I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Let's continue.
It's the second highest rated release of the year on OpenCritic, just a smidge behind Astrobot, and it's also just extraordinary. Like, pretend this was a standalone release. Would this deserve...
No, I'm not going to pretend that it's a standalone release because it's not a standalone release. But that's these people's argument is pretend. No, I'm not going to pretend. Like, why do you have to add so many caveats in order for this DLC to fit?
The Game of the Year nomination? Most likely, yes. Still, there's plenty of back and forth about it on social media, with awards organizer Jeff Keighley copping a lot of flack for it, but the truth is, it's actually not his fault. There's a panel of judges who collectively voted for it, and were the game not such an incredibly worthwhile offering, it wouldn't have got a nomination. I guess this is my way of saying I totally see both sides, but I think I'm more in line with the argument that Shadow of the Erd Tree deserves its spot because it earned it on its own merits. And if another future DLC for a different game comes along and it's the same level of astonishing quality, then I would vote in exactly the same way this year, which is to say that I would put Outer Wilds in every box. You're welcome.
Alright, so that's the end of that clip. I definitely recommend you guys go back and watch the rest of the video. But, come on. Come on, guys. This is just ridiculous. Any other DLC in the future? No, how about we create a DLC of the year category? How about we create the best DLC of the year, or the most play deal? I don't know, whatever. You can create its own category. I mean, you got esports categories. You got people that I've never heard of in my life, but yet you want to not create a category for a DLC? Get the hell out of here. And the last thing I want to show you guys is the comment that I wrote. Oh, look at that. A panel member defending a DLC. Shaking my head. You all are sad. The way you feel about the people who are saying Balatro does not belong is the exact way I feel about you. Any game belonging in GOTY nominations, Game of the Year nomination, except a DLC. It's okay. We are used to people like you being part of the problem in the video game industry. I said what I said. They think that they are holier than thou. They think that they are, what they say is we are just too behind to understand. And it's really tiring. It's really like just getting beaten down by these people every single time. It's annoying. I'm over it. So I'm going to be calling people out, specifically YouTubers and media people, journalists, whenever they do something like this, because they need to understand that just because you think it's a good idea, the consensus doesn't agree with you. And not taking anything away from the DLC at all. 60, 80 hours is impressive. I've never seen a DLC like that either. But it's still a DLC at the end of the day. That's it for the video, y'all. I just wanted to share my thoughts on this clip from Skill Up, which, by the way, huge shout out to Skill Up, man. I love your stuff if you ever come across my channel. I even watch your reviews all the time. Once again, I don't agree with everything you say, but hey, that's the beauty in us being or having our own independent thoughts and opinions. But yeah, go check it out, man. I think Skill Up is funny. I think he has a lot to bring to the table. He goes out there, he plays a lot of games. He games mainly on PC. And yeah, I look forward to alerts from his channel. But either way, guys, hit the like, subscribe. Please subscribe, guys. Let's hit our goals, y'all. Let's hit our goals, man. I'm really trying to blow this YouTube channel up. I'm really trying to get, invest in it, get some better camera, get some better, just better for you guys. Now, I will probably never, ever stop recording on my phone because it's real nice to just, I have an idea, let's make it right there on the spot. But a little bit more formal videos will be nice to do when I'm at home. Like when I'm on the weekend or nights when I'm home, I have no more work to do, and I can really focus on creating some of these bigger videos that I want to do and that I kind of do, but I just don't have the capacity to do them. So let's get these subscribers up, man. Let's do it, man. And thank you. Just thank you, man. I'm at 143 or 44 subscribers as of the making of this video, and I had none 3 months ago. None. So thank you all so much for the support, and let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with me with what I said in this video? Should Elden Ring DLC be part of the Game of the Year nomination, or am I full of shit? Either way, thank y'all so much. We'll catch you in the next time. Keep it gaming.